Sublime magnificence. Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen, and I am joined as usual by my co-host and runner mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey Omari, thank you so much for having me back. As always, love doing this thing, passing movies back and forth. Sometimes not movies. Sometimes it's episodes of TV shows. Sometimes it's concerts. Sometimes it's wrestling matches. Sometimes it's documentaries. Who knows what we can pull out of our back pocket?
Yes, that's right. We pulled something out this week. I believe you pulled out a film for me. It was The Karate Kid 2.
Karate Kid Part 2 from 1986. It is rated PG. Daniel accompanies his mentor, Mr. Miyagi, to Miyagi's childhood home in Okinawa. Miyagi visits his dying father and confronts his old rival, while Daniel falls in love and inadvertently makes a new rival of his own. It is directed by John G. Avildsen, written by Robert Mark Kamen, and stars, of course, Pat Morita, Ralph Macchio, and then this time it is going to star Pat E. Johnson as well. Omari, let's hear about your relationship to the Karate Kid franchise. What do you got for us?
So The Karate Kid always sounded like the kind of movie I wanted to watch as a kid. A kid that does karate. I was a kid. I would have liked to do karate. Sounds like a good idea to watch. Never saw it as a kid. Don't know why. It slipped. It was something I was eager to watch. Never thought as well. Okay, whatever. And get distracted by cartoons and stuff, and eventually, whatever. Get older, you start seeing more stuff in the zeitgeist of the public, pop culture. You got the kick, the crane, you got the sweep the leg, no mercy, catch fly with chopstick, all of that stuff, wax on, wax off. And through like a series of clips and moments and stuff like that, whether it's like a clip for the movie Seen It or some shit, or just like catching part of the movie on TV, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I saw like 80% of the movie just through absorbing it in pop culture.
Right.
But never saw part 2 or 3? Is there a 3?
There is 1, 2, and 3 with Miyagi and Ralph Macchio. And then there is The Next Karate Kid with Miyagi and Hilary Swank playing the kid of the Karate Kid. And then, of course, Netflix has popularized now the Cobra Kai series, which is a continuation of the plot.
Yes.
Of these films.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the sequels or Cobra Kai because I hadn't watched the first one in full. Even though I knew the majority of stuff that happened, but it would be like let me watch this. I did, however, see the Jaden Smith Jackie Chan one via it being on at work, but I did see that one.
So we chose the second one kind of just because of the technicalities of the rules of what we try to abide by at times.
90% of the time you get there, right?
Time, yeah. Which meant that you had basically kind of technically seen the first one, and I had obviously very much seen the first one. So we didn't want to really do that one. But I do really encourage you to go back and check out the first one. Honestly, kind of regardless to what your opinion is about Ready to Be to the second film, because the first one, I watched these very recently, and it had been quite a long time. And let me tell you, the first one is a great film, in my opinion. Beyond being a nostalgic film, beyond being a kid learns karate,
Yeah.
mid 80s to mid 90s genre of film that I've pulled out onto the show several times now. Beyond all of that, Mr. Miyagi is nominated for a Best Supporting Oscar, or Pat Morita, I'm sorry, is nominated for a Best Supporting Oscar for his role as Mr. Miyagi. Although Ralph Macchio is not doing anything, you're not asking a lot of Ralph Macchio. He does an incredible job at just being Ralph Macchio. He's incredibly naturalistic in the film. Um, all of the supporting players, although just young kids in most cases, first films, everybody is doing a very good job. Very few 80s ham up moments. And I really found it to be very fleshed out, interesting, developed characters, and I was just very remarkably surprised by my opinion of the film returning to it after so many years. Highly recommend anybody who hasn't seen the Karate Kid series and you've gotten this far in this video, run and go watch the first one, absolutely, and then watch the second one for us to talk about.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to this one when we were talking about watching it. So I guess we'll just hop into discussing the film. As far as expectations, I think I expected it, since I knew the first one ended with a tournament. I thought this would like follow more of the like career, for lack of a better phrase, of the Karate Kid, going probably to another big tournament leading up to a fight, you know, and doing it round two type deal. But that is not what we got. I was confused when it first started because I saw the fly catching thing and I was like, I'm pretty sure that was in the first movie. And then it turns out the opening credits are the first movie. Pretty much.
Yeah. A good chunk of it. A real good chunk of it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, yes, there's the bullies getting, there's him saving them from the bullies, there's him doing the thing. Okay, these are clips from the first movie, just in case you need a refresher course coming in. And then they open it with him actually succeeding in catching the fly and letting it go. Which I'm like, of course.
Well, and I mean, yeah, we pick up right where the first film leaves off. Like, first film ends with celebration of tournament victory, and then this film we go directly in to them leaving the building for the tournament.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was second movie stuff or just the end
That's
of the
all
first.
second film stuff.
Okay.
First film basically ends with them on the mat in like a
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's all second film stuff there outside of the building. Can't leave the ladies waiting. Interactions with the other instructor. That's all new stuff.
That guy. The other instructor just, you loser, I'm gonna break your jaw. And Miyagi just embarrasses the hell out of him.
Absolutely embarrassing, basically without touching him too.
But yeah, we do that, and then it skips to the 6 months later. Miyagi catches the fly and everything, and yep. I start hearing Macchio talk, and I'm like, this dude sounds so fucking Jersey, New York, Italian, or stereotypical New York Italian, whatever, from New York. That's, hey, not quite, hey, yo, forget about it. But there's a lot of that to what he's saying, you know, in there. And it's like, it's not what I expected the Karate Kid to sound like, but that's cool. It sells the whole Joe Everyman aspect of him. Like, yeah, Mr. Miyagi.
Well, he's a fish out of water. See, if you would have watched the first one properly, you would obviously know that he's a fish out of water. Mom and him, dad died, and mom and him had to leave New Jersey to California for mom to start a new life for them. And then they're in this random apartment complex. They're moving in. He's having trouble as the new kid. The apartment complex repairman, probably secretly the owner of the apartment complex, is what's theorized. Because as you see from Miyagi's house, and everybody who walks into Miyagi's house is like, "Whoa, dude! I don't know anybody living like this in this side of town. Where'd you get all this?" Um, so yeah, that probably is secret. But yeah, he's a fish out of water. He's just recently a Californianite by maybe about 4 months at this point, at least at the start of this film.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you say, and then they do drop the line that he is from Fresno and everything. He's like, "Oh, a refugee from Fresno. Oh, mom says I can stay? Yeah, already talked to her." So that was cool. I love the work everybody loves the work Morita does in these films. That's no secret. He's astonishing in his role. Um, and yeah, Postman comes, drop off the thing, and we find out what the premise of this movie is. Let's go to Japan. This is going to be more Miyagi focused, or it looks like it's going to be more Miyagi focused.
Yeah, I assume, because I mean the a lot of the response from the first one was Pat Morita. Obviously, I mean, he ended up being nominated for a supporting Oscar for it. It's, I would imagine there was a conversation pretty early on in the development of the second film, like, all right, so we're gonna give Pat even more to do, right? Because he's clearly what the people want.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this is the Karate Kid is almost Mr. Miyagi in this film until the very last 5 minutes when we don't want to actually shoot Pat Morita doing a real climactic fight scene for the final for the final bit of the film.
Yeah, I get it. But he was teaching also we get the early thing about the whole focus and how important it is to focus with the breathing techniques and all of that with the hammer exercise.
Mhm.
But yeah, essentially we go to Japan. Danny, not Danny. Yeah, Danny. Daniel. Yeah,
Daniel-san.
Daniel-san goes with him because he gets his mom to let him buy the plane ticket and everything. Uses money out of his
Omari,
savings
what
account.
would you do? What would you do if you were Mr. Miyagi? Here's the scenario that Mr. Miyagi has to go back to Okinawa for. When he was a young man, he fell in love with a girl. Back in that day, Okinawa marriages were arranged between the families. The young girl was arranged to be married, and it wasn't Mr. Miyagi. Not only was it not Mr. Miyagi, it was Mr. Miyagi's best friend. Mr. Miyagi makes a declaration of love in front of the entire town, saying that the arranged marriage shouldn't happen, that he loves her, blah, 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 blah. Best friend feels completely demoralized. His honor has been besmirched. Fight to the death. Miyagi just skips town because Miyagi don't fight.
He really does not like fighting.
He will do everything. Like, basically the only time we ever see Miyagi fight is when he thinks that Daniel is in real danger. Like the kids in the first one, when they're in the skeleton costumes, could have reached the point of definitely hospitalizing Daniel, could have beat him to death. It was that kind of just like
Yeah.
raged up mob mentality kind of vibe in that scene. And then the attack on the home in this film. Really, that's the only time we ever see Miyagi actually like throw some hands. And I
Yeah.
don't even know if he does any physical attacks in the first film with the kids. He might just do like judo maneuvers.
Yeah.
Of just kind of like, yeah, body weight, using their momentum kind of things. The only time I ever see him throw a kick or a punch to attack somebody is in this film when Daniel's getting choked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he won't fight people. What do you think about that whole moral dilemma that the film presents us with as the big plot crux of the film?
I think it makes sense for Miyagi to leave. I kind of agree with where the film goes with at least see if she wants to go with you.
That's the thing is when you find out, like, spoilers, you're gonna find out that she never married Miyagi's best friend, and in fact has stayed a a bachelorette her
Yeah.
entire adult life because she loved Miyagi and then Miyagi left.
And she didn't even bother contacting him
The
out of
fact that
respect
two
for the
of
fact
them-
that he left.
yeah, and that he didn't contact her.
Yeah.
He was like, why didn't you contact me? And she was like, because you never reached out to me. So I thought I was respecting your wishes. And truth be told, with considering the plot from the first film, Miyagi fell in love again. Not too long after getting to America, even conceived a child. and they unfortunately both passed away in childbirth. But yeah, I mean, when you if you consider the events of the first film too much, you're like, well, Miyagi moved on. I mean, he might be here to rekindle this relationship now, but
yeah, he just kind of cut.
a couple of months ago he was a drunken mess mourning the loss of his wife. So there is that little wrinkle to it, but yeah, I can also understand. I can understand doing the declaration, and then I can also understand backing out. But it's not like you said. It's a little unbelievable to not think that you would have a secret rendezvous of like, I'm bouncing. You want to come with me, kind of thing.
Exactly. Let's get away from here. You don't love him. At least something. Or do you want to come? Exactly. At least see. And if she says no, then I have no problem with him cutting his losses when he gets to America and being like, that sucks, but I'm moving on. She's with Sato now. You know for a fact she wants to be with him.
Right.
Not just it's either fight or get a new wife.
Whenever we reach one of those moments in this film, they kind of just explain it by like, Japanese people. Like, family values and honor,
disgrace, honor.
His character doesn't think about the family rituals and the honor when he's making the declaration of love. But every moment after that, you got to respect the Japanese traditions.
Yes, sir.
And he can't reach out to her because she's betrothed to be married. So yeah, there's absolutely some silliness there. But they get to Okinawa and you meet. Basically, they set one foot on Japanese soil, and old boy is there to pick them up.
Chosen of all names. This guy, like you said, he's there to pick them up. They think they're going to the village, which isn't on the map anymore, as Daniel-san notices when he's reading Guppo and Japanese culture on the plane. But they take them north instead, and they get there, and we meet Sato, who's a celebrity now because he breaks logs and shit, except for one particular log that he's had since they were kids.
A great line in the film. Oh God, I don't want to misquote it. What is Daniel-san's like?
Can you do that?
Can you do that? And he's like, I don't know. Trees never try to hit me or something.
I've never been attacked by a tree.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, Sato. I like Sato. He's so angry all the time. He just comes up just
So angry.
you come back. You disgrace me. No,
Immediately, yeah, like you said, they pull into some random murder factory, and then immediately he just comes out of the shadows and is just like, "Let's fucking go, let's go."
You come back to Okinawa for what reason? I come back to see my dying father. You see your father, then you see me. Like he just gets so growly with it. Then you see me.
You get so red and so veiny.
I'm like, I like this guy. I put for now, but I like this guy because he's just such a hater. The whole fucking movie. Miyagi, time to fight. Just throughout the movie. But yeah, we go to village. It's a military base outside of it, or that's been converted into a base that allows the natives to stay there, type deal. But yeah, we get the heart-touching scenes with the dad, with the both him being sick. Like if I'm dreaming, don't let me wake up. If I'm waking up, don't let it be a dream. Type shit.
Yep, that was good. And then pretty quickly he passes. And we get like the Miyagi morning montage and that moment with him and Daniel-san on the rock. That's, I mean, you can't ask any more from Pat Morita in that scene.
Oh yeah,
my God,
fantastic.
He's laying it all out there. My goodness, I can't imagine being able to do that.
Me neither. I'm just trying to say I can't either. But those were very powerful scenes. Also, Sato, I liked with the dad's that the dad's trying to tell them to be friends, but he can't because the dad trained both of them in the martial arts or whatever.
By request of Mr. Miyagi, because he was his best friend. And the Miyagi family karate only gets taught to Miyagi family members, except for Daniel-san. Miyagi doesn't really bring that up.
Yeah, I thought it was about the father and son. I made it as dad make exception. And I'm like, and then you made an exception.
He's adopted Daniel-san very quickly. But I also love it. Like, I'm telling you, like I rewatched the first one. The moment when he hands Daniel the keys to the car. I welled up. It was emotional. I had invested. But yeah, the dad's trying, and then he passes, and they get about 20 yards out of the room, and Sato is like, "I'll give you 4 days.
I give you 3 days to mourn, then we fight." And meanwhile, his nephew Chosen just hates Daniel for no fucking reason initially, and just antagonizes him. Your uncle is a coward. He's a coward. He's a coward. Whatever, man. Dude, calm the fuck down.
I love Daniel in most of those scenes. Is just because he's just like, I didn't do anything to you. Why are you angry at me?
There's no reason. Just my uncle hates your uncle, so I hate you. It's on site for them, it's on site for us. And then he ends up antagonizing him by revealing he was scamming people. So now he has a reason to hate you, even if you're still like, don't scam people. Clearly you don't care about honor. You're cheating people. Which he even goes, "You cheat people and talk to me about honor? What the hell is this?"
Mm-hmm.
And he says that line to Kumiko, the love interest for Daniel-san, this film. And she's pretty cool throughout the film. I thought
adorable, but very weird. She's kind of a weird girl.
I can see that. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. But yeah, she also helps be his like guide to Japanese customs. Like, just to be like, oh yes, I'm dropping rice in the river because this is a custom that does the thing with Japan. And
Yeah.
And other things like the dance.
Yeah. The dance. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well,
was
that's
cool.
that she's like really into that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's like pretty early on in the film. I think Miyagi's former love interest gives her character some exposition of just like, yeah, ever since the military base, like none of these kids want to be Japanese, except for Kamiko. Like she's the only one holding our traditions down, and she just
Mm.
loves the old ways, and she teaches the little young girls. Uh, uh, so yeah, that's like her thing beyond being Daniel's love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's taking him on a tour, and they go to that weird bar slash betting parlor
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Where they're having bets on who can break the most ice, and the fucking out of nowhere, like a dude just randomly, he's in the middle of teaching a class. They walk like 5 feet, and he's already changed out of his gi, and is walking up to him. See who you can break ice. Just because he accidentally antagonized. Yeah, he accidentally antagonizes a black dude because he's like, yeah, his form's all off. You gotta focus, and so and so. Oh yeah, well let's see you do it. And then the guy goes, yeah, let's see you do it, huh? Are you coward? Are you coward like your uncle? What the fuck, man? I don't know. Let's just leave. I don't want to deal with this. No, you do it.
Does it?
He does all 6. 3-1 odds. He can't break them. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Miyagi shows up. Which, luckily, it was mentioned that he could be in the area, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, it is all very convenient, but they do work. They work on explaining everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kamiko says like, oh, I know that store. That's right up there on the corner. We can go meet him. And then right as Chozen is getting really aggressive, you see Kamiko just sprint off in the background, and then she's trailing behind Miyagi when Miyagi comes back in. So it's they explain it, but it's still all very convenient.
Because then Sato comes in too, because he's like, Miyagi's like, because Daniel thinks he's gonna help him get out of the situation, and Miyagi's like, nah, dog, I'm betting on you. Wait, what? And Cho's like, I can't afford that. And here's Sato's hating ass. You can afford it. I cover.
I've just been following Miyagi's ass all day.
Like, even if it is just student versus student, I want to prove that I'm fucking better. And then, yeah, we get the breathing technique and everything. Focus. Breaks all 6. Yay. We get money. Sato pissed off. You disgrace. Uncle. Don't talk to me. So bad. But yeah. Also, meanwhile, we also learned there's a drum technique and you practice it. You shouldn't be practicing it often, but if you practice it, you can practice it with a fucking falling hook that can kill you from the sky. But I'm like,
comes
okay,
in real fast.
Yeah,
it comes in real fast.
It's like, oh god,
there's got to be other ways to practice that move.
Well, one way could be learning the Ongbo, Oban, the dance. I think it's like Oban dance or something like that. But
it's been a few days from me removed of me watching it.
Fair, but that was something that she noticed because that's how they got their initial spark, was him doing the dance thing.
Yep.
But yeah. So movie goes on a little bit more. We get, speaking of dances, there's like a not school dance, but that kind of level event going on for that Kumiko takes Daniel to. They have their little fun scene. We get the fucking 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock. This movie came out in the 90s, right?
80s, 1986.
So, yeah, that was about 30 years before that movie. So that's like if people play fucking like...
But it's a foreign country.
But no, I'm saying that's like if people were to play 90s music in a movie today, would be like that 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock thing in that movie.
Oh,
That's just a damn, time is moving fast for you people type deal. It's like, wow, the music from my youth is now as old as what this music is supposed to be referencing music from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, our music is that long time ago music.
Even older.
Yeah.
Even older. 80s music is probably older to us right now in this moment than that song was to them
Well,
while
yeah,
they were dancing.
yeah, 80s music, yes.
Or not, yeah. 90s even potentially.
Yeah.
It's borderline. But yeah.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, time. Oh, meanwhile,
Japanese have always been really into the whole like greaser rock.
Oh yeah, pompadours,
and then that whole swing adjacency is very close to the whole greaser thing. So yeah,
the 50s aesthetic.
Yeah, they've always been very into that. So that scene wasn't too surprising to me.
Yeah. The same.
Same with him getting his ass beat and robbed.
Yeah, dude,
kind of could expect that.
One thing Chosen is good.
Handed him that wad of money. I was like,
one thing Chosen's good at is having perfect timing and interrupting these people's kisses. Like it's like three or so times in this movie they're about to kiss and bam, here's Chosen just showing up. Hey, I'm mad and I want to fight you now because you're a coward and I'm gonna punch you in the stomach. And then so yeah, he was beating him up, mugging him, and then he gets fucking hit with the Johnny Cage, not the split, but still the punch to the dick. Prime target, as Mr. Miyagi puts it. So that was funny, but we kind of fast forward. We get what you were talking about with the attack at the place, because dude's about to go to sleep, and Sato, Miyagi, we fight now. Just breaking. Just the entire movie, but he decides
he's not here. Send him a message.
Send him a message. I would love to. I have something I want to show you.
Just a personal note for you, Omari. The actress who played Kumiko, Tamlin Tomita, also played Jun Kazama in the Tekken film, in the live-action Tekken film.
Huh.
So,
fair enough.
Omari interest adjacent thing that I just learned.
Fair enough.
I felt like I had to vocalize.
She looked familiar. I wondered if she did more work as she got older. So there's an answer. She was Jun Kazama in the Tekken film. So fair enough. You learn something every day.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like a lot of the actors in this movie. Just the way they're doing their roles is just, I like it.
I it's not the first one, but it's got a very similar vibe to the first one, where it is very 80s when it's being very 80s, but none of the actors are doing that like big 80s thing necessarily, they're all playing kind of real people. I want to even Sato.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even as angry as he is, I just believe that dude is legit pissed off at this man. And he's held a grudge for 40 years or however fucking long it's been.
My biggest complaint with this film, and I feel like it's so obvious that it needs to happen, that I'm really questioning if it did happen and I just for some reason missed it while I was watching the film. But I don't know how Miyagi does not at some point break that log. Like, doesn't it feel like Miyagi should, in some sort of argument with Sato,
break the unbreakable law that he can't break
at the breach of his like God damn it! I'm a peaceful person. I don't fight people.
That would be
And
cool.
just like fucking explodes that log. I feel like that. I was waiting for that scene to happen, and
The closest
I think
we
that
get
my
to
little
it-
kid me just inserted it.
The closest we get to it is the one that he does break.
Yeah, I'm thinking I just combined that one and the idea of that other
Yeah.
log being held in the pedestal together. But that
Yeah.
first scene when they're arguing and Miyagi's like, "Are we really gonna fucking do this? Like, are you gonna make me do this? Do I have to leave again?" And he's like, "We're gonna do this." Yeah, in that scene, I was like, "Oh, that's right. Miyagi's gonna shatter that fucking log at some point in this film." And it's gonna be awesome. Unbreakable log my ass until Miyagi tries to break it.
I love his because he has to hit it a bunch of times. I love if you like look at his hand, you can see him like slow down just right before hitting.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's not,
he's trying his best to sell it, but not really hit it that hard.
Because who knows how many takes they had to do if he's actually chopping that long.
No, yeah, it's a 1992 WWF chop. It is not a Gunther chop. It is a pat on the chest.
Yeah, but yeah, we get to eventually we have a tea ritual because Mr. Miyagi eventually agrees because there's like danger, like you mentioned, to everything. Oh no, he doesn't agree, but they like break down a lot of the stuff in the house to send a message. Mr. Miyagi saves the day. The next day, they decide to show up and start doing construction because Sato's like, I'm gonna be maximum hater then. I bought all the land and I'm gonna destroy the whole fucking village.
Well, he decided
Fight
to
me.
leave.
Yeah.
He decided him and Daniel were about ready to skip town. And Sato was like, if you leave, I'm gonna rip this village apart.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm tired of this. We fight. Okay. Tonight. Midnight. All right. We're doing it. And we get a weird tea ritual. And not weird, but it's just like it's very silent. And like no words. It's all music and very respectful to the ritual itself.
Yeah, it's a metaphor for sex, Omari.
Yeah, so they're doing all of this.
It's a PG film. We can't show Daniel getting some. So he has a very nice tea ceremony.
Regardless, we have the whole scenario. They get ready to kiss, and then the storm starts up. And I'm like, not the ominous storm before everything goes down. But this is where the movie takes a turn that I was not expecting. Because, you know, we're saving people from everybody, going to the underground bunkers and everything. And then it's like, wait, where's Sato? Oh, his house collapsed on him. What? I wanted to see Miyagi. That fight that you said they realized they didn't want to do. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see these old two motherfuckers throw down. Like, Sato's clearly in the wrong, but I wanted to see him get his fight he also wanted. Just for Miyagi to whoop his ass. Yeah. But the house collapsed, and I thought that was crazy.
Well, they see Chozen.
Yeah,
they see Chozen running like a bitch, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Because they're out there saving a couple other people, and Chozen's running around like a bitch, and they're like, "Yo, where's Sato?" And he's like, "In there, he's dead." Continues running like a bitch,
literally laying in sight. It's Sato.
Help me! He's dead. Leave him.
And they go over there. Sato completely misreads the situation. Oh, now you fight. The whole village can see you only beat me when I was weakened. get the breaking the log over him, which probably is to further cement that if he wanted to, he could break that unbreakable log back at the mansion. Because clearly Sato can't break this shit to get it off of him. But here comes, well, there's leverage and all of this shit.
Right,
whatever.
right.
He can't break the log to get it off of him. He needed Miyagi. So Miyagi comes, saves him, and they go in, and there's a little girl yelling, Daisuke! Daisuke! Or help, help, help. Up in the tower.
Little girl who was ringing the emergency bell for everybody. But, like, why did you stay up there so long?
And now she's scared to come down, so Daniel-san stays out to go help her
without hesitation.
To save
He's immediately like, "Oh, little girl's hurt. Here, you guys go back to the thing. I'll help."
And then Sato turns to Chosen. He's like, "You go out and help him." And I thought Sato was a hater. Chosen just looks at, "No, I cannot help him."
And then gets like sad puppy face and like goes into the corner.
It goes deeper in the crowd.
Yeah, like he just peed.
It's like anybody but that motherfucker. I don't care if a little girl dies. I refuse to help this man.
I don't know if this is truly a Japanese trait or if it's just a trope that American films put on Japanese people, but the absolute flipping on a dime of just like raise this boy probably since a child, been teaching him karate, been your right hand man, mortal enemy, and then within 30 seconds, we're cool, dead to me. I feel like that's a trope that American films apply to Japanese people. It's just like you get one shot and then immediately, no. Fuck you, you're dead forever.
You dishonor family. You dishonor me. Yeah, he straight up like Sato goes out to help Daniel-san get the girl back in, and then yeah, like you said, you were right. I am
at
dead.
The very end there, a little kind of like like
the glory
running in, yeah, a little bit running in at the end, and Daniel-san gets an assist for like it's like somebody's running up to a completely open basket for a slam dunk, and all of a sudden somebody just like steps into frame. It's like, pass it.
Yeah.
But credit to Sato.
Yeah.
You know?
He at least went back out in the store when Chosen would die.
Yeah.
And then yes, you were right. I am dead. Dead to you.
He also, when he runs out, he picks up the girl, and there's this moment with him and Daniel where he puts on the biggest smile on his face to just be like, no, it's cool. I'm a good guy now. We're good.
Like, you're dead to me.
You dishonored me. Dishonored our family.
And yeah, so he decides he's going to rebuild the village. Or help rebuild, use his money for good now, because he apologizes, buries the hatchet.
Chosen just runs off into the store.
Chosen just runs off. Oh yeah, when he tells him he's dead. When he tells him he's dead, I'm like, well, maybe that's the villain in 3, because he just ran off. Okay. Guess we're not dealing with that problem now. We'll deal with him in Karate Kid 3. See you later, Chosen. And yeah, and they keep moving on as if that's the case, because he's like, I'm buying the village and rebuilding and helping everything. I'm a good guy now. I'm sorry for being a dick.
Hilarious if 3 is in California and all of a sudden Chosen just shows up and is just like, I'm obsessed with you, Daniel. I'm gonna kill you.
You dishonor me.
I've come here from Okinawa.
But yeah, they decide, since he's in a good mood, let's get the Obon dance, but back at the castle that he bought and forbid it to be at. And he's like, I'm a good guy
over. Now. Yay! I can hop on the Zoom with Bill. Nothing's gonna happen after this.
Pretty much. And nope, here comes Chosen, and he's got a knife, and he's got it up to Kumiko, and he's like,
because we can't end with a storm, Omari.
Trust
This
me.
is the
Trust me.
Karate Kid.
I was ready.
You came here to see a fight.
I was ready to
We're gonna give you a
complain.
fight.
I was ready to complain at the end of the review that the store. Well, complain about the store being the resolution. But no, here he is. I'm like, okay, we are having some kind of fighting to solve the Karate Kid. And yeah, we get the fight. Daniel, I thought it was funny because he's getting his ass whooped. He goes for the specialty, the crane kick, and dude just catches his leg and knocks it.
Yeah. In the first film, Miyagi says, absolutely no defense for the crane technique. Really? Because it seemed pretty simple. He just grabbed his leg and punched him.
And yeah, he starts beating the shit out of him. And they trade some blows, but then eventually everybody just pulls these drums out of their pockets. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna judo move his ass into like a statue or into the water or some shit.
I had one of those when I was a kid that I was obsessed with.
Nice. Yeah, I thought that's what he was gonna do, was like use his attacks against him with the drum technique, since that's what the poses were. But no, he used it to repeatedly slap the shit out of this man.
It's just like a flailing arm. Danielson, I don't know if that's the true methodology, but Danielson just turned it into like a flailing arm technique.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, okay, that's not how I expected that to come into play. I thought it would be move out my fucking way, embarrass you some more. And then he ends it with the honor or death, and something along those lines, something or death, and he chose death. And he's like, wrong, honk. And I'm like, call back to the first movie. And yeah, now everybody happy.
The beginning
or not first movie, beginning of the film. The first time they did it in this movie, is what I meant to say. But yes. Yeah, that was Karate Kid.
That is Karate Kid Part 2. What'd you think, sir?
I liked it. I knew it wasn't gonna be as good as the first one. Sequels seldomly are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed. We touched on the campiness / not campiness of the 80s actors and everything in this movie. And I believe, if not a great job, the ones who didn't do great jobs still did a good job in this movie. There was no one I just watched was like, well, I know why we don't see this person in other films. It was, in fact, a lot of, I wonder what all these people went on to do type shit.
Uh-huh.
But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't really know what else to say. Sato is was one of my favorite characters, so I'm glad he never got too fucking villainous. Like, as a villains goes, like, I just hate you because I'm a hater. I like Sato.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he needed to hold that 80-year-long grudge because some dude's like, I want to marry this arranged marriage girl that you had no actual feelings for anyway. I don't think that's a reason to hold an 80-year grudge or whatever, but hey, to each their own. Far be it for me to tell that man of all men not to be mad.
He'll punch you. Yeah, I mean, I love this film. It's hard for me to not love this film because the nostalgia attached to it. But at the same time, I also acknowledge it's definitely not the first one. There's at times where it almost feels TV movie level. It just it's drawn out a little bit, and its use of set, its use of structure is a little loose to where it kind of feels a little TV movie-y at times.
I can see that.
Especially in like I want to say the middle third. But I mean, when that entire dance hall of people start doing that fucking drum,
It's a powerful. Like, there's
I'm
a lot
all
of
about it.
powerful
I'm all about
moments
it.
in the movie, and yeah, I too am all about it. About it. So yeah, there we have it. So
Yes, sir.
I guess that's on to next week. Bill, have you seen the movie Dead Leaves? Anime film?
Dead Leaves, an anime film. I don't think so.
Then you're gonna see it now.
Okay.
Dead Leaves. That's what we're gonna watch next week. If you want to see other stuff of ours, especially other films involving 80s, 90s, karate, and other martial arts, sometimes even kids learning those martial arts, as Bill alluded to, you can check them out here on this channel. You can also check us out on Saturdays. We got a show called You Don't Watch Sports. 2 guys, 3 topics, help you sprinkle a little information into your sports conversation, be that guiding light through your sea of casual sports talk. You can also find me on Wednesdays on the show Whatever We Want podcast with good friend of mine, good friend of the channel, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much. As nature intended, we talk about just that, whatever we want. And sometime on occasional Monday, we have a show called Mock Draft. Draft some things, have some fun, just random ideas, put them on a team. Why not?
Boom.
Let's go. And I also have a Twitter and Twitch at GioTavi. That is GIOTAVI. Come on in, stop on by. Bill, you got anything else you want to say to the folks? All right. Well, that will be it for us. We will see you guys next week with Dead Leaves. Adios.